Today's a big day for the channel. We have a massive upgrade from the M50 to the R7, and we're gonna run you through all the reasons why I did it and should you do the same. And there's one big flaw already. Let's get into it. Before we do jump in, welcome back to the channel. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button below. It helps the channel out a ton, and 92% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So we're really trying to boost the professionalism, get you guys more content, and a subscribe goes a long way. So this video is gonna be broken down into three main parts about the reasons what made me make the jump for the R7, but then there's gonna be a last part about the bad. There's one issue that I'm already experiencing, so I've had to contact Canon over it, but it may be resolved, and we'll save the best for last. All right, reason number one, why did I make the jump? And it's a pretty obvious reason, and it's 4K video. You guys can see my old videos, just the simple jump in quality to this is just undeniable. And I felt like I was at the point where everything I was doing was great, my technique was awesome, but I wasn't getting the result that I desired. So jumping to a camera like the R7, I see it immediately. So if you have an M50, you probably already know that 4K video is pretty much unusable. You get a really heavy crop, you lose all autofocus capabilities, and I guess it's okay if you do some manual pulls, but that's as far as you're really gonna get. So to make the jump from 1080p to 4K, even 4K 60 is just massive. And when I do something like this in 4K 24, it's oversampled, it's 4K fine. So yeah, the jump in quality is massive, and I hope you guys at home can really see the difference. My next consideration was, how good is the hybrid shooting? And for me, that's pretty much all I do. I'm an event shooter, so I need to go very quickly from photo to video, and I love even that it has a dial for that. Makes it very easy. I have all my preset settings, so it's just ready to go as soon as I click over. But apart from that, it's just being able to have everything with Canon, the autofocus, the IBIS, the stabilization, it's just all in one. If I was to go with something at a similar price point with a Sony, I would have to have more of that rangefinder on the side of it, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the viewfinder dead in the middle, so I feel like I have a photo camera with all the benefits of a video camera. With that being said, being a hybrid shooter, I feel like Canon has one of the best stabilizations and autofocuses in the game, so it's just an easy choice when it comes to it, and I just hate the rangefinder, and I can't get used to that, and you have to shoot left-eyed. No. One of the last reasons that really pushed me over the edge, and it was actually this little guy. And since moving to Vermont, I've just done so much wildlife and animal videography and photos that I need a camera that's going to support that as best as possible. And as you know, the R7 is the wildlife goat, pun intended. But what does that mean? For me, again, with the autofocus being the best in the game, the fact that Canon has a preset going from animals to humans to moving objects is a game changer for me. And it's eye focusing as well. So if I was out on a shoot and I had to shoot goats like I just made fun of, but I wasn't able to really get it on their eye until I was in animal autofocus. And it was getting their snout, getting their nose when it was in human, but as soon as I swapped over, perfect nailing of the eye. And then I would have to go immediately take pictures of people right after, swapped right over to the preset, and then bang right after it again, moving to the eye. And it's even crazy, you can pick which eye you even want it to focus on in some situations. If you're close enough, you could pick the left or the right, depending on the situation. You may even be asking yourself, well, why didn't you just go full frame, maybe even an R8? Well, again, wildlife and animal answers the question, because that focal length and that reach is a lot of times better with the aps-c, that crop sensor, than it is on a full frame. And for most of the stuff I do, I find it's better. And also, you save a ton of money. You could save thousands of dollars going for an aps-c rather than the full frame version. I know it's not the same with the R8, but again, with the R7, you're at a pro level aps-c crop sensor camera, but the R8, you'd be at an entry level beginner full frame. So my main gripe with the R7, and besides this, it could potentially be a perfect camera, I figured I'd come out and I'd show you guys, because sometimes it just doesn't turn on depending if you move it or shake it too much, or it's just too delicate. And let's say you have a background like this and you want to get it on a tripod. When I slide it in on the tripod, it just shakes too much, and then for some reason it dies. But the issue is, once it's on it, I can't take the battery out and solve the issue. I have to slide it all the way out and do this whole thing to get it all to work. And I hate that. It sucks, it's annoying, and I've talked to Canon about it. I have to send this back out, and hopefully I'm gonna get a new R7 that doesn't have the same issue. But let me know, you guys, anybody else suffer from the same things, or just me, random, maybe just this one camera, one defect? We'll see. So the last thing I'll say about it is that it doesn't happen all the time. You know, some days it's great, but some days it just acts up a bit. And I've seen somebody else say that the R7 has a mind of its own, and maybe that's what I'm dealing with right now. But again, I hope this is just a one-off situation, and apart from this, it should be the perfect camera for what I'm doing. So let's put it all together. If you're somebody like me, you need to be shooting 4K video, at least 4K 60. We'll get to 4K 120, but we'll get there. And then also you have a huge hybrid need. You take as much video as you do photos, and you need both to perform great. And then lastly, maybe you have a dog, or you live in a nice place like Vermont and you want to just take advantage of all the wildlife around. I think there's no better package than the R7, again, the wildlife goat. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you liked, please drop a sub. As I mentioned, helps the channel grow a ton. And really, I want to do more of these videos because I don't see a ton of people like me doing what we're doing here. So let's start a bigger community than what we already have, and let's go, guys. Hope you enjoyed.